So you've been watching Tiger King. You've been quarantined. Yeah. I'm caught up in it too, man. Karen Baskin, she killed her fucking husband. Let's talk about it. Let's go. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Listen, man, I hope y'all out here staying safe. You know, this quarantine thing, this pandemic, it's got everybody going crazy, man. This coronavirus ain't no joke. So please keep your social distancing. Let's get through this so we can get back to regular life. Wash your hands, take care of your family, all that good stuff. But if this is your first time coming across my channel, my name is Chad. We bring a lot of dope content to the channel. Most of the stuff is centered around culture, technology, lifestyle. But, you know, since we're under quarantine, things are a little different. And I've been, you know, kind of binge watching some shows. And I came across this show called The Tiger King. I know I'm a little late, but hey, I got to it, and it's pretty wild. It's pretty bananas, man. It kind of, it's the craziest thing I've seen in a long time. But anyway, but before we get into that, because a new episode came out today on Netflix. Well, it was more of like just like an interview. A guy named by the name of Joel. Hell, he interviewed some people from the documentary. So it just came out, and I thought that was pretty interesting. But before we get to that, go ahead and hit that like button, man. Hit the subscribe button and share it. It helps me with getting content out, so I appreciate that if you go ahead and do that for me. But man, let's talk about this show, man. Tiger King, man. This is some of the wildest people I have ever seen in my life. I'm like, I mean, I thought I was a little twisted at times, but I don't hold a candle to the people out there in Oklahoma, wherever the hell it was at. Tiger King people, these people are off the chain, man. A new episode came out on Netflix, and it was hosted by Joel McHale. And he went, you know, he talked to Eric, the zookeeper. He talked to Jeff and Lauren Lowe. You know, he talked to John Reinke. He talked to what's his name? The person that was that a man or a woman? You know, the one that got her arm ripped off. I don't know if that's a man or woman. Kelsey Sapp. He also talked to Josh, which was his campaign manager. John Finlay. He talked to Rick Kirkham. So he talked to all the main people that were in the documentary, and it was pretty interesting. I just want, you know, get on here and talk about that, because this show, it's like, it caught a firestorm, man. Everybody all around the world is watching this. Everybody, you know, talking about it and hashtagging about it. It's just been a crazy, wild show. And I just want to bring my thoughts, you know, share my thoughts about what I think about it. So let's talk about some of these people that Joel, you know, interviewed during this new episode that just came out on Netflix. First person he interviewed was Eric. Eric was the zookeeper, and to me, Eric was cool as shit, man. I like his style, his flow. He was a pretty cool dude. He seemed laid back, and he just kind of got caught up in all this bad stuff that was going on around with Joe Exotic, and I just feel bad for him, because one of the things that Eric had to do was, you know, the Tigers, he would call the Tigers in when Joe was getting ready to you know, do what he do, the bad stuff to him. Eric would be the one that called him in to do that, you know, to call the Tigers in, because the Tigers had like a trust relationship with Eric. So he always had to be the Grim Reaper, so to speak. So that was tough on him. And he did believe that, you know, Joe was guilty of everything that he went to jail for. So I just feel bad for Eric. But Eric was cool though. I enjoyed his, you know, who he was as a person during that whole time. He was dope. Next two people that Joel interviewed was Jeff and Lauren Lowe. Now, Jeff is a character in his own right. Jeff is a straight out pimp player. Don't let nobody fool you on that. He got all the women, man. Did you see his nanny? Oh my God, she is fire. That's a bad man. But yeah, so Jeff, you know, Jeff is a dude that he seemed to have had a bunch of money or whatever, and some kind of businessman. He would always get in business with these different people, but he wasn't happy. You know, he wasn't happy with the way they portrayed him in the documentary. He clearly stated that, but I believe a lot of it, the way they portrayed him, was a lot of who he really is. I just, you know, he upset about it, but I just think that's the type of person that he was. And, you know, of course, he had Alan, bald headed guy that was quote unquote the hit man, but that was his homie. They were cool for a while. But Jeff also, he also hated Joe the Exotic. He believed that everything he did was that he was guilty about as well. But yeah, that was another guy in the show, in the doc, that I thought was very interesting. And he always had a bunch of women, so I always thought that was pretty funny to me at times. Another interesting person from the Tiger King is Kelsey Saffery. I think this person was born as a female. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but now she goes completely as a male, something like that. But that's the person in the show, in the documentary, that got his arm ripped off from one of the tigers. But just a laid back person, took a lot of bullshit from Joe the Exotic a lot of the times, but just kind of just rubbed it off, so to speak, and just kept doing what they were supposed to do as their job, every day. It was a very interesting show, man. Saf believed that Joe Exotic did a lot of horrible things, which he did. He did a lot of bad shit. But, he pointed out that Joe also did a lot of good things that were unseen, that didn't get recognized. So, his belief was, Safri, what I'm talking about, believed that Joe deserved, to be in jail like he's in jail right now. He also feel like he don't deserve to be in there for the rest of his life until the day he dies. But I don't know, very, very interesting person in the show as well. I don't have any other words for it. It's just an interesting person right there in general. Josh Dial was Joe the Exotic's campaign manager. He revealed that he knew that Joe the Exotic was like batshit crazy. Like, he knew that going into it, but he wanted to be a part of it. He just, he was like, this was a once in a lifetime chance for me to be around these exotic animals. And he was like, every morning, I thought was pretty interesting during the interview. He was like, the best thing about my job was every morning, about 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., they could hear the roar of the tigers roaring, like an alarm clock waking everybody up, like 30, 40 tigers just roaring. I thought, look, I don't have no desire to be at any kind of environment where I'm around some crazy wildlife tigers, but that would be pretty cool to hear that. A couple of times, I guess that would be fun to hear that. So I thought that was pretty awesome. John Finlay was another person in the documentary. He was Joe the Exotic's ex-husband. They were in a relationship together. I think John, correct me if I'm wrong, John Finlay has a 4 or 5 year old daughter now, because he liked women, too. So, but he has a child. He wasn't happy the way they portrayed him in the documentary as well. He stated that during the interview. But he looks a lot better now. He got his teeth fixed. So I guess this superstardom stuff, that's all this notoriety they get now. It's getting a little money in their pocket. So maybe he got his teeth fixed before that. Who knows? But he looks a lot better now for sure. And Rick Kirkham, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's a TV producer, and he came on board to produce Joe Exotic to give him more exposure. And he regretted, the day that he did it, he hasn't been happy about what went on. He revealed a story that was very interesting. It was actually horrifying. He was talking about how this lady came out to Joe Exotic's facility, and she had a horse, right, a trailer, and the horse was older, and she wanted the horse to be taken care of and have somewhere to be, and just be able to be free, not be free, but be taken care of. And Rick was telling the story that as soon as the lady left the facility, it wasn't no later than 5 or 10 minutes, Joe took the horse and shot it and killed it, and then fed the horse to his tigers, man. So Joe was one of those cold-blooded, nasty jokers, man. when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, this is bananas. But so Rick, he was the TV producer that did the video and all that stuff. He recorded everything. He went around with his cameras and made sure that everything was recorded that was going on with Joe Exotic. But he regretted ever meeting Joe Exotic. That's what he stated during the interview. But this show was this last episode was very interesting. You know, you got it behind the scenes, got to get to know these people a little bit better and see where they are now. It's kind of one of those things. And I just enjoyed the show, man. I mean, you know, we quarantine, we on lockdown with this pandemic, stay at home, shelter in place. And this show, it's pretty wild. Like I said before, like I said earlier, I have never seen anything like it before. You just never know, man, what kind of people are out here in this world, man. And this show just brought that to light. Just, I don't know, man. What's your comments? What's your thoughts about the show? Have you seen the show? I mean, it's just totally different. If you haven't seen it, man, it's just unreal. I've never seen anything like it before. But that's all I got on this one, man. I hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep bringing a lot of content to the show. And please, please stay safe. Keep your hands washed. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. All right? Make sure you keep that social distancing 6 feet. 6 feet away from people if you got to go out, when you got to go to the store. And just stay safe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.